If there was one thing the world was asking for, it was for one more podcast about CrossFit. Well, here we are anyways. This is the Silverback Media Podcast, where we share the stories of the everyday CrossFitter, so that more people are encouraged and empowered to try it themselves. Here's your host and everyday CrossFitter, Marco Mejia.
What is happening, Silverback Media crew? Welcome back to the Silverback Media Podcast, the one podcast made of, by, and for the everyday CrossFitter. I'm happy to have you here on the show this week. We have Drew Woerther. Drew is a friend of mine from St. Louis, Missouri. He is a member at CrossFit Xtra Mile. In this episode, we talk through his life around physical fitness, how it developed as he grew and got into his college years, and then the ups and downs that he's had along the way. You know, it's cliche to say, but progress doesn't always come in a straight line. It goes up and down. It goes through waves and cycles. And I think Drew and his story resemble that. And it will resonate with a lot of you that maybe have gone through the same thing. And you get to hear how Drew ended up coming back around each time through those cycles, and how that ultimately led him to CrossFit, where he has now found his, as he says, his greatest amount of consistency, his greatest amount of progress and results, and the reasons for that. We also, along the way, once we get to that point, we talk about how the lessons that Drew has learned inside of the CrossFit gym have helped him and developed him outside of the gym as well. So great conversation here. Really appreciate Drew for coming on. Really quick, before we get to the show, make sure you do all the things for the robots. Like, share, subscribe, follow, do it on Instagram, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever it is that you are listening. Make sure you hit the follow button, share it with a friend, do all the things that make the robots happy, because we know they're watching. We know they're listening. All right, that's enough conspiracies for me. And that's 12 down, 10,000 to go. Let's go talk to Drew.
All right, we are live. Mr. Drew Woerther. How you doing, sir?
Marco, I'm doing great. How are you
Great.
doing today? That's the main question.
You know, I sense a little bit of BS in your answer, but I'm going to take you at your word that you're actually doing great.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. It's a beautiful Saturday here in St. Louis, Missouri. It's 110 degrees.
Oh crap! You might have us. I don't
I
know.
think
I don't know
so.
what the temperature is here, but yeah, you probably got us beat on the humidity too. So
Oh yeah,
you win. You win both, and I'm totally okay with you guys winning that award.
because you guys have a dry heat. Is that what you say out there?
That's the joke, and it's true. It's legit. So if you ever come visit in the middle of July, you'll actually feel it. You'll notice that it is crazy hot even when it's 115, 120, but it is different. You can breathe a little bit. If you find some shade, you find some breeze, you'll actually, yeah. It's no joke. I think the highest reading I've ever seen in my car since I've moved out here is 128. Which was a little alarming when I first saw it, and I was like, oh my God. I'm pretty sure I had just gotten in my car after working out too, and I'm like, holy crap! Like I don't know what the temperature really is, right? That's just like what the car read because it was sitting outside. I'm like, ooh, that's probably not okay, right? Like, thank you for air conditioning. Goodness gracious. So,
Yeah, I'll stay with 105 then. I'm good with that.
yeah. Well then, hey, in December or January when it's 0 or -10 with some wind chill there, then that's probably a good time to come out and visit when it's like 70 or 80.
Yeah,
Then
I'm good with that.
You can come see what we got going on. All right. We're here to talk about you though, not as much about the weather. Do elevator.
Okay.
Yeah. I know. Sorry, surprise. I tricked you into that. So, all right, I want to hear about background, athletic background, upbringing. What was Drew getting into? Yeah, I know, right? Let's take it back. Let's roll the clock back. So, when you're younger, you're playing sports, you physically active. What kind of things were you getting into growing up?
Man, young Drew was fat Drew. Fat husky. I think husky was the word that I heard a lot. Like
husky. Okay.
Big boned. That was something. I guess that's like the nice way of calling somebody fat. But yeah, dude, I was always like a big kid.
Yeah.
And just kind of like that self-conscious fat.
Yeah.
Like I remember gym classes. Like I have these. We were just talking about memories before we started, and there are some things that are just like burned into my brain forever. And we can even circle back on this later. But like gym class in middle school, like doing rope climbs, running the mile, like all that stuff. Like I dreaded those days because like Fat Drew was not doing any of that. Pull-ups, push-ups, the presidential stretching thing. Like no.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember that stuff where you had to reach out and they measure how far you reached out. Dude, it was terrible. Like hopping up on the rope with no instruction. And coach would be like, Woerther, get yourself up there. And I'm like, coach, this is not going to happen. Running the mile, like all that. So I never got into athletics. I never got into anything like that. Like I was never physically active, like from outside of an occasional PE class or something, like up through high school. I was a band kid. I was a band nerd.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I was wondering. I was like, okay, well, what were you into, right? So what was your instrument?
I was a musician. I played trombone, and then after I figured out like I didn't practice in high school, I'm like, I gave it up and I switched to drums. I just played drums.
Oh, heck yeah.
But yeah, I was never an athlete. I never had any interest in it. Like I never wanted to play football, never wanted to play baseball. It was just, I was brought up in a like, this is going to sound bad, like an intellectual family. not, I mean, that's not, not like, there are a lot of very smart people who play sports. Like, I'm not saying that, but we were more academically focused and musically focused than athletically focused.
Nice.
So it was it was Chubby Drew.
Yeah.
Back in high school. And then I think I hit, like, I did the opposite of what other people did in college. And I finally like got my act together.
Oh, interesting.
I just started running. That was my thing. Like college. Like when I got to college, I just ran.
And I guess on that, what was there anything that kind of sparked that for you? Like, what was the thought before you, or did you Forrest Gump it and just start running?
I think a lot of people reach this point where it can come from like you're buckling your pants or you're doing something, and I just hit a break. I'm like, I gotta stop. Like this is something that's got to change.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly why, but yeah, I just started running. Didn't do the couch to 5K, wasn't training for anything, just started running.
Yeah.
And like the weight just like dropped, just started to drop off. Started to get a little skinny. Not skinny, but skinnier. Yeah. Maybe that's the right way to put it. But I remember just putting in headphones and just running. It could have been the middle of the summer, dead of winter. Mm-hmm. I was just out running. And
so what drew you to Drew? No pun intended. What drew you to running what drew you to running in the first place? Was that just like I got to do something, and this seems like the fastest thing that I can get into? Yeah.
Yes, and it was also I didn't have to feel so self-conscious in the gym, because like if I ended up the next stage, like going into a gym, like Gold's Gym. Yeah. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in there. Like there was no like formal education. I don't have any like personal trainers. I don't have any. I just walk into a gym and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll sit down on a bench press machine and do this until I'm tired.
Yeah.
So running was just something I'm like, I know how to run. I don't necessarily like it, and it's extremely cheap. And I'm in college, so, and it was very therapeutic too.
Interesting.
Like I got a lot of the, like, I don't know if runners talk about that. Even any athlete probably talks about that, but the mental health side of things.
Yeah. Okay. Go deeper on that. Like, was that something that you anticipated or were looking for when you started running, or did you realize that after you kind of started and got into it?
No. Yeah. I didn't realize that there was, like, I thought it was all just suffering. Mm-hmm. I thought all exercise was suffering. I'm like, I don't know why people enjoy this. Like, I don't know why people do this so many times a week. And so I just started doing it. And I guess it was something I've got kind of an addictive personality. Like if I start something, it's kind of hard for me to quit. I got to go. Maybe that's getting a little deep, but I got to go cold turkey. Like if I quit something, I got to go cold turkey. But
that's fair. Okay.
So I guess I just started doing it. And then I had friends start doing it. So we would all kind of schedule around each other and run together. And it became not so much exercise, but like almost social. Like we never talked when we ran. But
interesting. Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's like if you're running at a pace where you're having like full conversations, you're like, wait a second, I want
to. I can't stand when people talk to me when I'm running. I can't stand it.
You're like, I can maybe sneak out a yes or a no, but other than that, you're gonna need to shut up because we're running and I'm breathing. Man. It's too heavy.
especially back then, like when it was just it took everything I had to even like keep going. It was,
So
but yeah, that was the start. I guess that was the start of
yeah,
my athletic career.
how long did it take once you kind of got into the routine of running? How long did it take for you to? And I mean, maybe this kind of goes back to the addictive personality piece you were mentioning. Did it take a little bit for you to be like, oh, this is working? I'm gonna stick with this for whatever stretch of time you did, right? Or like, was there an adjustment period where you're like, man, this just sucks, but I'm gonna keep going, or like before you kind of crested that hill, so to speak, where you're like, okay, now this is just a part of my routine, and I'm just gonna keep doing it because
Man,
learn to enjoy it, so to speak.
that's a good question. I don't know. I guess I started seeing results. I was
Mhm.
like, I'm starting to lose weight, so I should
Yeah,
probably keep doing this. And
yeah,
then, especially with running, like there is you see, there's a actual like measurement. There's a literal measurement for your
Mhm.
like for getting better. Like, oh,
Oh,
I'm running more distance. Like I'm like, oh, I'm up to 8 miles. I'm up to 10 miles. Like this, it's like, oh, I have an actual number that I can
yeah,
base my like how I'm doing this whole thing. So that I think that helped a lot. Like the number, I love the numbers side of things, which I
that
think
makes
is
sense.
probably a reason we'll get into the CrossFit. The CrossFit
CrossFit,
pieces.
yeah,
I like the numbers thing. I like the time thing. I like the pacing. I like like it. I guess all of that kind of kept me doing it.
gotcha.
And but the biggest thing was like I'm starting to get a little skinnier. This is cool. Like I think I dipped under 200 pounds for the first time since like high school or like early high school. So I was like, I stepped on a scale in college or something like 192. It's like I haven't weighed this since like middle school. Like this is great.
What were you at your heaviest, if you
Oh
remember?
man, dude, that probably came years after,
Oh,
especially
okay,
after
okay.
after I turned 21 and lifestyle kind of changed a little bit. Introduced some new liquid things into my diet. Uh,
Things that you were not legally allowed to take in before turning 21,
until
right?
21. I mean, I think, dude, because I probably like quit at some point. I just quit I quit all athletic anything. I don't know
Even the
why.
running, even the
Even the
running thing.
running, like, yeah, I just stopped. And I was probably like, I never really weighed. I was probably 230, probably something like that, 225,
Okay.
230. And it was all, yeah, it was all bad. It was all bad weight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The liquid calories started.
It was liquid
Well,
calories.
and especially you're 21, so you're I'm assuming still in college at that point, right? So it's like it's the liquid calories, and then at least for me, and you tell me if the same thing happened to you, it was the liquid calories, and then it was also like, oh, it's 3 in the morning, and we've had plenty of these liquid calories. You know, it sounds really good. Taco,
Jack in the
you know.
Box.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that was my kryptonite, man. I couldn't I couldn't not turn down Jack in the Box, sober
Those
or
tacos.
under the influence of something. Dude, yeah, I could eat those things, but
Okay, look,
it was
I could not eat those sober. So you are a stronger man than I. Uh, Drunk and intoxicated, in the middle of college, yeah, we're knocking out some Jack in the Box stuff. I actually rolled up to a Jack in the Box with some teammates of mine in college. One guy, this was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. He goes, "Give me $40 worth of tacos." Just screamed that at the drive-through window. I'm like, $40. I'm like, dude, that's crazy.
we were
And
we were in for a good night.
yeah, I was like, and this is the end of the night. It's like 4 in the morning. What in the world is going
Oh,
on? So, okay, all right. So, tangent there on Jack. But okay, so you got, the liquid calories. So at this point, you turn 21. That's happening. You've stopped running at this point, and
basically,
that was
yeah.
just
I
kind of
mean,
was that a conscious decision, or did it just all of a sudden you were like kind of getting
just
into
tapered
these
off.
other things? So you were just like
I
tapered
guess I like lost interest. Probably stuff changed my life, and I just stopped doing it.
Yeah,
I guess prioritizing that bit
yeah.
of life. But there was, and I don't I think it was after that when I finally like I'm gonna do the
Mhm.
gym, like a Gold's Gym style. But I want to back up a little bit because like
Yeah.
I remember like as I was running like college wise, I started to get into that what is it the P90X program
Oh
with Tony
yeah, all the
Horton.
DVDs,
Yeah,
Tony Horton. Yeah.
dude, I'll admit that somebody gave me like a burned copy of all of them. And so I was doing P90X too at some point, like, and that was my first exposure to there. There was some like weight training in there. I mean, minimal. When we're talking like dumbbells, like light dumbbells, a lot of plyometric stuff. Good yoga, dude. I got hooked on yoga at one point.
That yoga video, my dad had a DVD set too, and I would do those when I was home from college and even a little bit in high school. Dude, those were wild. Those were hard.
90 minutes of yoga. Like I would do 90 minutes of yoga and then watch Maury Povich. Like I remember that in college. It was like I think it was like my Thursday. Like I'd finish class, I'd do 90 minutes of P90X yoga, and then I'd watch Maury Povich. And it was like I miss those days so much.
This is great. This is like
zero responsibility. Zero responsibility. Just me and Tony Horton and then Maury Povich. But I was doing that stuff, and I think about P90X a lot because there's a lot of stuff in there. Like it was high intensity. It was guided. Like it was that guided workout. And I think that crept into my brain a little bit. Like I think my brain found something in that it really liked.
That planted the seed for like the high intensity. I mean, to an extent, it's interval circuit style training, right? Which like closer to what CrossFit. I guess along these lines, right? Now, what age does that put you at? That's around.
That was in college. That was college. Yeah, that was probably around the time, like just before I discovered one of my true loves, beer.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably around that time. I mean, it was, but I got into it. I tried it. Like I was like, I'm going to try to do all 90 days P90. And like, I was documenting, I get those stupid like Facebook memories where you just look at them and you're like, oh God, like what was I doing? And I remember like they put posts, like I was posting on Facebook about doing P90.
About P90.
Like what a loser. Like what a friggin' loser.
You're sharing your journey at that time.
Oh,
right? No, I get those things. Okay, so
I didn't know I was ahead of my time though. I didn't know I was ahead of my time.
Oh, right.
I should have just stuck with it, and I would have been some like Instagram P90X influencer.
You'd have been the influencer. Yeah, you'd have been, right next to, you'd have been Tony Horton's right hand man, been the background of whatever video, because he's still out there making fitness videos.
He's still out there.
So at any point during this, had you even heard of CrossFit?
Oh yeah, I've heard of CrossFit.
You had, okay.
Oh,
what had you heard at that?
Oh, dude, I made fun of everybody I knew who did CrossFit. It was a cult, man. Like anybody who did CrossFit, all they did was talk. That's all they did. Like that was like my relationship with anybody I knew who did CrossFit. Our conversations just was like one-sided, them just talking at me about CrossFit. That's all it was. And I remember I'm like, this is who in their right mind would ever do that?
And my, oh my, have the tables turned.
They have turned quite a bit.
Okay, okay, all right. So you had that. That's what you kind of got. Was that what you kind of, were you just like, holy crap, these people just won't stop talking about it? Was there anything that they were saying that made sense or resonated with you, where you were like, there wasn't anything where they said
I didn't even know. I didn't even know fully what it was. Like I wasn't even sure completely what it was. I just knew that they used a lot of terminology that made no sense to me.
Yeah.
And they like that they were in the gym 5-6 days a week, and that was like their life. That's all I knew about it. I didn't know anything else about it. I wasn't even sure it was an actual like athletic thing. I just knew the name of it, and that I just made fun of anybody who did it.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear how this turns around. Okay, so now we've got, so now you're a little bit past 21. Running has shut down. I'm assuming P90X has kind of stopped a little bit, but then you make that choice to kind of go into and start working out at like a Gold's Gym type of setup. Have you graduated college at this point? Are you still in college?
Yeah, I was done. I think I was done with college at that point, and I was into a first job. And I was like, all right, let's try a gym. Like this is there were times in college where I visited like the college gym and did like a couple of things with a guy, like we bench press or we like curls, just walk on run on a treadmill, just nonsense. Like, so I had been in an actual gym before. So, but I decided to do it on my own. And so I got a Gold's membership, not knowing how impossibly difficult it would be to eventually cancel that Gold's Gym membership. I didn't realize that those people just didn't want to let people go. But like I got the gym membership. I would go a couple, 3-4 times a week. I would like try to print. I printed out or looked up. Yeah, this was back when we'd like print stuff out. But like I'd find like a workout plan, like a legs day, back day, chest day, with some cardio sprinkled in there, and I think I don't know how long I stuck with that. Probably maybe a year, but it was it felt good. Like like the pump. That was one of the real first times that I actually started to like feel a pump, and I was like, all right, I kind of
this is it. This is it.
Yeah, this makes you, because you walk out. I mean, never after cardio. I mean, like I always leave cardio days defeated in those. Like, you probably. I mean, maybe that's a guy thing, or maybe that's just like a people who work out thing. Like, man, I love feeling like leaving, feeling that pump. I feel like I could take on the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And those were good. Those were good days.
I 100% agree with that. And I think, I know we kind of keep alluding to this. It's like there's something about moving, and maybe it goes back to that measurable piece that we were talking about before. It's like you are aware of how much weight you were moving. Where like if it's just like a cardio day, I don't know, there's less of that measurable piece unless you're like, running for or moving for a specific distance or something like that, right? So maybe it is a little bit more of that measurable piece, but there definitely is a difference between, and I mean, maybe the running equivalent is like that runner's high that people have talked about, which maybe, I don't know if you kind of, but I'll tell you, any of the stretches of time where I stuck with running, I never felt that runner's high.
Dude, we'll get there. We'll get there, but I think I've experienced it a few times.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now we're into goals. How you said it took a while to be able to cancel it. How long were you?
Dude, I think I probably did it for like a year.
Yeah.
And consistently for a year, and I started to see some results, like nothing like I'm experiencing now, but
right.
But it was like I felt like every time I'd go in there, I'd do a little more, or I'd feel that pump, and I could start to see there was like one. I remember there was like one vein, like in one of my. I was like starting to see a vein, so I'd have to make sure I'd like walk and like make sure it was like pumped out. So I'm like everybody would know that I was. It was like, all right, he's looking a little vascular. I think he's been doing something. Like I remember seeing little stuff like that, but
yeah, you get the right light. Something, you like look in the mirror, you're like getting the light, you're like, there it is, you see it,
there it is. Yeah, that's part of a bicep. Like I can see it. But yeah, it was just a year. It was kind of a blur. Like it was just, we just went in and did my thing, and
that started to give you,
all right,
maybe that started to give you along with a little bit of like that exposure to the benefit of lifting weights, which obviously is very different, but you had the exposure to running and the cardio side of it benefits that. And now you're starting to piece in some of the weightlifting components, which is probably starting to be like, oh, okay, like there's different ways to do this fitness thing, right? Okay, so where does that take you after? So
that takes. I quit that, and then I think again I quit everything, and then I probably like ballooned up. I think I ballooned up in weight again. Like I think because I was looking back at like pictures of. I was trying to piece together like the years and everything, and I saw some picture of myself. I'm like, holy shit. I was like, that's like the monster that ate Drew. I'm like, that's what it looked. I was like, this guy, it's crazy. Like I saw this, and I think it was taken at like a Bob Evans too. This picture, I'm like, it's perfect. It's just, I look huge, like not good huge, like bad huge.
So what was like? So when you quit sorry, I'm using that word lightly there, right? When you did that earlier, that was when you turned 21, right? So a little bit of an inflection point, some other things in life that can start coming into play, right? The legally speaking. At this point, when you wrap it up at goals and have this point where you kind of ballooned up, was there anything that preceded that you were like, oh yeah, if I think back, like that was a reason that I kind of went that route, or stopped training a little bit, or was it just kind of like like you said, a weird cold turkey thing, just in the opposite direction.
Hey, quick interruption from me. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. If you are, I have a favor to ask of you. The main way that this thing can continue to spread is through word of mouth. So if you're enjoying this episode, send it to someone or share it with someone that may benefit from it or enjoy it as well. Leave a comment, drop a 5-star review, follow the show, share about it on social media. That's the main way that we can help get this message out to others so we can continue to spread this, okay? I'd really appreciate it if you do that. And now let's get back to the show.
I think it was just pure laziness.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just complete laziness. Like once I started how do I phrase this? Once I started to do it less and less, it just became like something I didn't do anymore.
Yeah, you're like, might as well not do it.
Yeah, and it wasn't like purposeful or anything. It just kind of tapered off and stopped.
Okay. And then did you end up having another one of those, like you said, where you kind of hit your peak in weight, but rock bottom, so if you want to look at it that way, where you're like,
yes,
oh, damn it. Okay.
Yeah. So all this was kind of going on in like my post-college, mid-20s, mid to late 20s. Like this was all kind of in that section of things. And I don't know how long, it was years probably that I spent without doing really anything like big time physical.
Interesting. Okay.
But there was, I don't remember when it was, but there was a time where I finally, I don't know if I can't remember the moment, but I was like, I got to get back into running and I want to run a half marathon.
Oh, okay.
And so because it was like the extreme thing where I'm like, I got to get this weight off. What can I do? Like just right into this that I've done before. And like, let's get right back into running and let's plan on doing a half marathon. And so that was probably like, I looked at myself in the mirror or did something and I'm like, this is something's got to change.
Yeah.
And so half marathon training began.
Yeah. I know that feeling. So I was gonna mention it earlier when we were about this. It slipped my mind. That I had a similar experience post college. It's kind of like had stopped training. Yeah, I played baseball in college, right? So after that wrapped up, I kind of like stopped training for a bit, or definitely training significantly less, right? Let's say I was still going to a gym, but just kind of farting around, not really doing anything serious. And I was kind of starting to gain some weight, but I didn't really. I was like, it'll be fine, no big deal. Right? And then I was out with my friends, and we were going to a bar, and I went to step out of the car that we were in, and I felt my jeans rip just straight down the crack, and I was like, oh no. And of course, because I'm like mid-20s, just recently graduated from college kid, right? I was like, well, screw it, I'll just go in the bar. And someone took a picture of me like from the back with my jeans split down the butt crack, basically, and it's still on Facebook somewhere. So if anybody's listening and really wants to go dig through some fate, you can go find that picture. But that was the moment for me in that period of time where I was just like, nope, can't do that, right? Not going to be splitting my own jeans. One, I didn't want to have to keep buying pairs of jeans. Right. So I was like, what the hell? Like, what am I doing? Right? And I don't remember what, this is not about me, so I don't want to like go into what I did next, but I'm sure like if it was something, and it could be, it's not always this big, crazy moment, but everybody's got a moment where you just look at yourself or something happens and you're just like, no, not anymore. I got to do something different. And so for you, that was all right. Half marathon time.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Just all right. I've done. I don't know if I had thought like I'd done nothing for long enough, or if I was like, or if I had seen a picture of myself from college and I was like, what happened? Like, Drew, what did you do? Like you were there and you could have just maintained that and kept that, but instead you got lazy and you put 35 or 40 pounds back on. And it's like, all right, now it's time to become more consistent, start running. And maybe I was getting a little more serious in life too. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what the trigger point was, but I know that I'm like, all right, let's do a half marathon. Let's get back into running.
Heck yeah. So, okay. So then how that training, the half marathon, how much time did you give yourself when you, when you signed up or when you actually like ran half marathon?
Months, maybe a year, something like that.
Okay. So you gave yourself, so it was like plenty of time.
Yeah, and a good, like, looking up one of those half marathon training plans, getting into it, and I think it's sprinkling in a few 5Ks in there, where actual like organized 5Ks.
Yeah.
Which, God, I don't know how people like run those without headphones on, dude. Like running in a group of people. Oh, especially like a some sort of like public 5K event. It's just, yeah.
Like,
But
I need to
like
tune out. I need to put in
just
some
just coughing and hacking up, and I was like, all right, that was real, because that was like my real first exposure to that kind of thing. Like, just and so yeah, a couple of 5Ks sprinkled in there. And seeing like, let's get the mile, let's run a 5K in this amount of time, let's do this, and then finally like pushing up into like 6 miles, 7 miles, 8 miles, 10 miles, and that meant where they seeing the amount of miles stack up, and feeling good doing it. Because to your point, like, I was never an athlete. So
Right.
I kind of always look at it like my knees are good, my joints are good,
Oh,
or at
true.
least they're better. Like, I didn't blow out knees playing sports in college. I didn't hurt this in college or high school or whatever. Like, I was just not active. So I don't know if that's better or not as good, but like, I don't have any pre-existing like high school athletic injuries to slow me down. Like, I have no excuses.
Yeah, you didn't have you maybe didn't have like, because there are obviously people that go through sports and everything growing up and come out with no major injuries or significant things. But so you maybe didn't have the base of some of those people, but you also didn't have the beating and the pounding that they do on their joints. Like, I think of like football players or something. Good grief, I can't even imagine. I mean, I played baseball, which that's its own separate kind of physical beating,
Yeah.
but it's different. It's different, is what I'll say. So, but yeah, so you're probably doing. You're like, all right, I'm kind of fresh. So like, just gotta get everything trained up. So how'd that half marathon end up going?
I mean, it was slow. It was definitely slow, but it was great. I mean, like, it's a sense of accomplishment, I guess. Like, you can say, I don't have one of those friggin' 13.1 stickers on my car, if that's what you want to ask. Like, I'm not
You got it tattooed on your shoulder.
It's on it's left pec. But yeah, it was good. Like, it was good. And I was like, all right, I'm starting to feel a little bit more like getting more into a regular like physical routine helped tremendously. And then, while that was, I think I was still trying to sprinkle in some more like P90. I think I'd moved on to P90X3 at that point. I blew right past 2. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of, dude, it's crazy.
Really?
There's an entire industry based around Tony Horton and his Beachbody stuff. It's
Oh, I'm about to go look this up later on. Okay.
Beachbody, yeah, it's great. But I guess that kind of stuff always appealed to me because I could do it at home. Like, I wasn't around other people. I didn't have other like judgmental eyes. I didn't feel self-conscious. Like, running kind of got me on it. Like, running took an adjustment the whole time I was doing it. Like, you got people looking at you, or you're running past somebody, and I'm always thinking like, I run past somebody and I was like, that person's judging me. I know they are. Like, look at that fat dude running. Like, come on, pick up the pace. But then, P90X was something I could do at home, and
so you can just get after having to worry about it.
Judgment free. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So there was definitely a bit of an adjustment upcoming in my fitness journey.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go there. Right. Was that so? And I guess before we kind of jump to that point, at this point, did you still have the same thoughts about CrossFit as you had years previous? Because initially it was
I never thought about it.
You never thought about it. Okay, cool. So it's just none of it had really started to come back into your conversation. You just kind of had that, a few years ago, people that I knew that did it were annoying because that's all they talked about.
Yeah. And then I just kind of like, it just, I never thought about it ever again until I ran a second half marathon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then I think that second one was during either the first or I think the second one may have been right at the pandemic. So I had to run that by myself, like, and post my score or whatever, which was,
Oh,
but I remember after I wrapped up my second one, I put a post on Facebook because I had this itch and I was like thinking about trying CrossFit. Anybody got any suggestions? Like,
okay, wait a second. You okay? So you went to Facebook with it. What was the thought process before? Like, something had to have sparked in your mind. of like, wait, like, do they have a point? Like, what's going on? Like, what got you to the point of posting about it on Facebook?
Uh, Man, I think I had finally learned what it actually was. I don't know if
Okay.
I had seen clips from the games or I had started to research like something else, like other than running or other than
Okay.
going to just like a Gold's Gym or a 24-hour fitness. Because I was thinking about doing the gym thing again. Then I was like, wait a minute. Like I remember years ago somebody mentioning this and kind of learning more about it. And I was like, oh, I might actually like this.
Okay. So you started reading it, you started seeing something, and you're like, something about that like triggers something in your mind. Like, huh, this might be something
Yeah.
worth giving a shot.
I might actually like this. And then the owner of the gym I'm at, his wife responded to it, who I've known them for a while.
Okay.
And so she's like, well, you should come and like either drop in or swing by or
Yeah.
do something like that. And I was like, okay.
All right. Why not? Let's give this a shot.
And that was definitely a little out of my comfort zone. But
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Let's try something new.
And
And
this was after the like post pand or where
oh,
because you mentioned the
this was 2021.
okay
So this was
2020.
still like everybody's wearing masks inside. Well, I guess in Missouri,
Dude.
depending on what state you're in, it was all everybody had a different thing. But yeah, it was still like everybody was wearing masks. So yeah,
Okay.
it was early 2021 when I began this new journey.
And how would you describe like how you were feeling when you were on your way there? Were you nervous, excited? Because like,
Oh
obviously you had kind of the thoughts you had about like, are people going to be looking at me? Are people going to be judging me? I'm kind of assuming that may have been in your mind based off how you talked about your prior gym
oh
experiences,
yeah,
right? And you're like, I've also know that, I've known people that was all they talked about. Like, am I going to become one of those people?
dude. All of the above. I mean, it was yeah. I was nervous. I didn't really know what to expect. But then also like I can't. I gotta do I got to do the best I can because I don't want to look
Yeah.
foolish. Like this is, come on, yeah, I know, of course, I know what that is. Like, yeah, of course, yeah, clean and jerk, yeah, of course, naturally.
Got it. Yeah. Been
Like
doing
air
those my whole
squats, yeah, I
life.
do
What are you
those
talking
all day, yeah, all day. But yeah, really nervous. Uh, I didn't really know what to expect. Like day one, walking into a gym like that.
Yeah. So what do you remember what the first workout was?
Uh, I think oh geez, there was because I think before they had me do on ramps. I think I dropped in for a class or I
Okay.
walked in and worked out a little bit. I think there were a ton of burpees. I think it was a bunch of burpees. And if that did, I don't know why that didn't just like send me out the door, but it was, yeah, I think I did a workout with them first
Okay.
prior to AMRAP or prior to the
On
AMRAP.
ramps. On
Prior
ramps.
prior to the on yeah yeah, it's now in my brain as you yeah prior to the on ramps, yeah, I think I did one workout with them and it was barely doable at
Yeah.
that point.
But something within it, or like something within that workout didn't just send you running back and be like, all right, that was ridiculous. I'm never coming back to that again. What if you
Yeah.
had to think back, what was it about that experience that you were like, oh, I want to keep coming back to doing this?
uh Man, I think it was like the intensity in the short amount of time. Something was very appealing about that,
Yeah.
like
As
just
opposed to like a
moving
90
and
minute
moving and
P90 at
moving and
speed.
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, a nine or like or an hour run where it's like let's keep a pace at this amount of mileage. Let's keep your heart rate here, and but it was just like full throttle. Like
Yeah.
something about that was very appealing, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's something I would really enjoy, and eventually just start to do a lot. But yeah, it was that, and it was a really welcoming environment too. That kind of was that kind of was really surprising. I was not expecting that piece.
Was the was the like not expecting that? Was that based off of like things you had heard, or was that more just like you weren't expecting that from a gym experience kind of in
Yeah,
general?
from a gym experience.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Okay.
expecting that from a gym experience, because the gym experience I was used to at that point was like you walk in, you wait for a machine, or you grab a machine, or you're waiting on weights. Everybody's got headphones in. Nobody's talking to one another. Everybody's just there to do their thing and get out.
Yeah.
So
This is
it was
different.
very strange to walk into a gym that was a welcoming, like a community. That
Yeah.
was that's also very appealing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that kind of goes back to like when you were the initial time that you kind of got into running, where you had your group of people that, like you were saying, you like we weren't even really talking all that much while we were running, but we were doing it together, and everybody like
Mm-hmm.
as a group was getting into it, right? So that kind of maybe started to scratch some for you that you hadn't had in a little bit, right? Because you'd either been
Yeah.
running or working out on your own.
Yeah.
Was there any sense at that point of like, are people watching me, or people looking at me? And I only bring that up.
Oh yeah.
That was yeah.
Oh yeah.
At what
Oh yeah.
did that start to melt away at some point when you realized like
No, that's still present today. I'm assuming everybody's watching me, judging me, looking at how much weight I'm throwing on a bar, looking at if I'm squatting deep enough, if I'm standing up fully on a box, if I'm doing, oh yeah, none of that has gone away, but it's fine. I mean, I've just learned like it's my demon. It lives with me. Like it's my dark passenger that I just have to put up with.
So how do you manage to like you said, to kind of deal with that, or so with that and I ask, and I'm going in on this because there may be someone else listening to this who feels that same thing and has that same worry or fear, depending on what you want to call it, and that's keeping them from going into a gym, right?
Right.
So
They're not looking at you. They're not. Well, maybe somebody is. Like if I'm close to somebody, they're going to look back at me. We're going to judge each other. But no, everybody is so concerned with what they're doing. Like it's just like that in life. Like when you realize that in life, where it's like really like nobody cares that much. You only care that much. Like it's like everybody's worrying about their own stuff. They're worrying about what they're doing. Like nobody's watching you the whole time and judging you. Like that's not it's that's life. And I guess it like I don't know, it also turned into like a fuel for me too. That part I wasn't really expecting. We're like, all right, people are watching me. I've got to do the best I possibly can, or the most I can physically.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know, I was not expecting that piece.
Huh. Do you Was that something that, I don't know, do you realize that now looking back on your journey, or did that like in the moment do you feel like you kind of noticed that turn?
Looking back, you know, like, and I think it's part of the community, the camaraderie, like, and not so much that's more of what it turned into, I guess. The people looking at me, like, come on, Drew, you can do more than that. Like, you can move a little faster than that. Like, so there was the positive side of people looking at me and judging me. There's the positive side, but if you're like when I was getting started, it was definitely that nervous piece of like, I'm the new guy. I'm not putting that much weight on the bar. I'm doing the like scaled version of things. And people have got to think I'm such a chump, but they don't. I don't think that when people come in, like, because now I'm starting to be like the older guy on the block, which is weird. That's like,
I know, I was just
weird. Like,
that's weird.
Like doing this for like four plus years or something, and it's like now I'm like the old guy on the block, and I see people come in, and they're like, I can almost know, like, I know what they're thinking, and it's like we're not judging you. Like you're here. Like we all started right where you are.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that mentality when I came in. I wasn't thinking like that. I'm like, crap, these people are looking at me. Please stop looking at me. And I don't know.
But I think the way you put that was there was a piece in there that I want to kind of double back on, right? So it's like if anybody is watching you, which like of course the coach is watching just to make sure, right? Other people in class, like, yes, they're 100% very much more caught up with what they're doing and watching you and judging what you're doing, right? But like you said, if there's any, I don't even want to call it judgment necessarily, but there is that component of like watching you, seeing what you're doing, and also being like that friendly nudge of like, hey, like you're capable. It's like that little boost of like, I believe in you.
Mhm.
Why don't you believe in you too? Let's move a little
Yep.
bit faster. Let's go a little bit heavier, assuming that form is good, technique is good, all that other stuff is in place, right? Like it's not going to
Yeah, all that crap.
all the basics, all the things that we all know are important, right? But it's like then once all those things are in place, then it's like, hey, come on, man. I know you've got more in you. Let's get it. Let's do this, right? Which is uh, a helpful way to look at it, because then it's like when you frame it that way of like, okay, this person's looking at me, and you can call that judging, but it's in your best interest, because it's like I know you can do more, right? And maybe you come back and you're like, hey, things feel off today, whatever. But it's with that positive intent in mind of like, you're capable of, I believe in you.
Yeah,
I want you to believe in you too. Let's get going.
for sure. I mean, and I think that came with time too, like building relationships when I was there, and like seeing the same consistent people, and knowing, like when I first started, it was like I was scared. I was scared out of my mind. Like it was like I just am gonna do as much as I can, and
Yeah.
hopefully nobody thinks like, why is this guy here? Like we're all athletes. What is this dude doing here? Like they crept in. I mean, they crept in a little bit, but it started to go away as like I got to know the same people there, and like the community, and of course as I got better, I moved better, got stronger, and started to like understand my own limitations as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I think was key, because like when I started, I had no idea like what I was capable of.
Right. Yeah. And you're gonna get pushed and tested in different ways, and you'll start to realize what that is. Be like, oh, okay, that's a spot where like for now, this is my kind of limit. Whether it's a certain skill, gymnastics wise, or a weight on the bar in a weightlifting movement, or whatever the case is, right? So you start to realize this, and you're like, oh, okay, for the time being, like that's kind of my peak, and then slowly work past that. Did you have a moment, or maybe it was a movement that those first couple classes you were able to see, you saw people do a certain movement, and you're like, holy crap, how in the world are they doing that? I'm never going to be able to do that. And then eventually, like,
Yep.
you were able to get it, and you realize like, oh, goodness, I'm one of those people now.
Oh yeah, bar muscle ups, dude. Like
Hell yeah.
I remember, I don't know how many years ago, where I was watching somebody do bar muscle ups, and I'm like, I am never going to be able to do that. Like I'm never going to work toward that. I don't want to be able to do that, and I'm physically not capable of doing that. And so now I can do it.
Well, how long was it from the first time you saw someone do one to when you got your first one?
Oh, years. But when it wasn't that long when I got one, when I started to get serious about trying to get one.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So it was years before I could, between the moment when I first saw somebody do a bar muscle up, and then a condensed amount of time when I'm like, I think I might be able to actually do this.
Yeah. And so it was the years of showing up to class and working to get to the point where you're like, all right, I actually think I have a line of sight to doing that.
Yeah.
Putting in that work. So it was years to get to that point, and then it was like, all right, let's put some focus on it. And then it showed up.
Yeah.
How was that? What did that feel like?
Dude, it felt weird, man. Like the first time I got a bar muscle, like it felt strange. I was like, oh, like it is, that's possible. Like,
yeah,
I want to do more.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get more now.
Just like being that high up. I remember like it was a similar thing. You get up there and you just look around and you're like, one, did anybody see that? Because I have no idea how I got here. And like two, I've never been this high up. What in the hell?
Yeah, how do I get down?
That's a good way to teach that, I think.
And it's still kind of a surprise every time I get. Well, I don't know if I'm past that point yet. I'm still right at that point where it's still kind of a surprise when I get up there.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, I still have that sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
That hasn't quite worn off yet for those.
So how did that? So like, let's say that first finally got right. How did that? What kind of lesson or takeaway did you have from that? Outside of like obviously being able to do a bar muscle but things that carried or that you took with you outside of the gym from being able to do that in the gym. Like what anything come to mind? Was there anything that you were like, oh crap, like I have this lesson, I have this takeaway now?
Yeah, things take time. You're not going to be good at everything the first time you do something, or you're not going to be able to do something the first time you try it. Uh, it takes a lot of work and dedication to accomplish difficult things. I mean, these are all obvious lessons that that everybody should know, but
Yeah.
that real granular thing, especially with a muscle up, like it was piecing it together over time, and then actually committing to wanting to accomplish something and
Yeah.
focusing on that piece. It's like, oh, so if I want to get something done in life, I kind of got to do the same thing that I did with a bar muscle up.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, the
which
focus
is which should be like a life lesson that everybody knows, but that's something where I'm like, oh, if you set your mind to something and actually like commit to trying to do it, you could actually accomplish some stuff. Wow, I wish I would have known this 15 years ago.
I heard someone talking about this, a different podcast, not CrossFit related or anything like that, but talking about this, the idea of unlearnable lessons. So it was like the idea that there are some lessons in life that we all know, but for whatever reason, it never really sinks in for any of us until we experience it and learn it ourselves. And I feel like that might be one of them, right? Which no matter how many times has somebody told you, hey, if you want to get something done, you got to focus on it. And you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And you're like, yeah, I believe you, but then you don't actually do it until you experience it. You're like, oh, that's what that person was trying to talk about.
Yeah,
that's what they were.
Dude, I've been learning or learning lessons or whatever you just said, like constantly for the last 4 years since I started this. It's been a crash course in like, oh, stuff's hard work. Like if you want to get good at something, it takes a lot of work to get good at stuff.
And like, long term, that's kind of the beautiful thing about CrossFit. There's kind of always something to be working on with that, right? Like there's always some additional skill or some, variation of a weightlifting movement, right? And to some people that could be overwhelming, like all the different things you could be working on. But at least for me, I feel like if you can embrace the fact that there's always something to be improving at, doesn't mean you have to be improving at all of them at the same time. But it's like, okay, once you kind of get one piece of it, all right, I got, like you said, I got a bar muscle up. Cool. We're going to check that one off the list. Now I can either like try to get more consistent, or now I can take that focus and put it on another piece of the puzzle, right? Maybe it's running, maybe it's, Olympic lifting. It doesn't matter what it is, right? But then you can take that focus and kind of shift it around based on what you feel like is like, hey, what's the next thing that I want to improve on a little bit? Because now I have proof, I have evidence, I've done it myself, that if I focus on something, I can improve at it. So why don't I take that and apply it to something else that kind of fits it within this picture of like being a CrossFit, athlete, right? And build up the rest of the system that way, which is really cool.
Dude, bullseye. And I still, man, it's tough. Like I still don't consider myself an athlete. Like I know, I get it. Like it's printed on the back of shirts. That's like the terminology that's used. But like when I hear it, I'm not an athlete. Like it's still a little strange when I hear it. Yeah. But man, like those first couple of years, like the CrossFit where I was a consistent, like I would do it 3 days a week.
Okay.
For years. It was like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that's what worked for me for the longest time, where I was like, all right, I'm not going to burn myself out. I have a consistent schedule where I know that I'm like, these are the days that I have to go, and I can plan everything else around them. Because if I don't do that, I'm going to trickle off like I did in the past, where it's just like, oh, I'll go, maybe I'll go after work today, or maybe I'll do this. And then I would end up quitting. But it was like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing, which was good, which is great. I think that's better than nothing, obviously.
Yeah, 100%.
And I could tell changes. Like I was feeling better, like over those years. Like I was definitely getting stronger. But then, dude, like something snapped in my brain like 6 or 7 months ago. Something snapped in my brain, and I'm there 5 days a week. and I'm doing stuff before and after class. Like I'm doing stuff like, dude, something went
All
wrong.
right.
And I don't know if they had to call the B team in, but I've got my first official comp coming up. Yeah,
Whoa, look at this
yeah,
guy. All right.
yeah.
All right. Which one is it?
I got called up from the minors. The is it Uncharted? Like it's St.
Oh,
Charles.
yeah.
Yeah, St. Charles
Uncharted
CrossFit.
Fitness?
I think so. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess their comp. Yeah, I'm filling in for Dan. He had a scheduling conflict, so
Oh, no. Okay.
I took Dan Adler's spot.
So who's that? Who are you going up there with?
Candace,
Okay.
Dawn,
Oh, okay.
and then there's a guy Alvis who he's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
I know
he's
Elvis. I
yeah.
think he had
Mhm.
just started there before I left. Yeah. Heck yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Hell yeah, man.
Uh,
That's exciting.
so
So what
it's
so now are you know, nervous, excited, all the above?
yeah, yes. Nervous. I'm extremely nervous. Like I've done the in-house comps. Those are the only comps I've done, right?
Yeah.
And so this is definitely going to be a little bit more serious. Um, I'm hoping I'm not like the dead weight of the team. That's what I'm like. I don't want to be the reason where it's like, well, if we would have done one, if somebody would have done one more burpee, like we would have, we would have actually placed. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think the biggest thing, and this is something that I've definitely learned, is like it's giving me something. And this goes back to even like the half marathon stuff. It's giving me like I have to train for this. I have to make conscious decisions with like my diet, with what I'm doing during class, what I'm doing before and after, what I'm doing on my off days. Like this is stuff that this is all kind of uncharted water, like for me. Uh, like trying, I've got to not
Yeah.
cram, but like kind of, I gotta take advantage of the time before this event to get the most out of myself.
Yeah.
But this is new. Like
Well,
it's weird,
so
man.
you say it's new, which I mean, obviously the output of like a CrossFit competition, that is new. Um, but it's a perfect parallel to the bar muscle up story, right? Where like you had done all of this training to put yourself in a line of sight to get a bar muscle up. And once you put that dedicated focus to it, it worked out. It's a similar story. It's a similar timeline and trajectory, just with a different outcome at the end, right? You've done all this
Yeah.
training, all this consistency of time to put yourself within a line of sight to be like, oh crap, now I'm going to do this CrossFit competition, right? And now you've got this focused short period of time, but you already have proof that you can do what you need to do if you put that focus and commitment to it. I mean, hell, you did it with the bar muscle up, right? So now it's taking that same level of focus and commitment to apply to this, and it's going to have a different outcome, right? But you know you're capable of doing it because you've already done it. Have the proof for yourself. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not
Hopefully
saying
I'm
that with the
capable of it.
yeah. I'm not saying that with the expectation that it's going to calm all your nerves because I know the people that you're in that team with, and I'm like, damn, okay, this is going to be. You guys are going to get after it. That's going to be awesome to see. But I say that to
Yeah.
say like, and that's the beautiful thing about CrossFit is like the cycles kind of repeat themselves in this sense, right? It's like it's just with a different thing at the end of that finish line, so to speak, that you get to, and then it kind of starts again after that with whatever the next thing becomes. Because something will happen in that competition that you'll be like, dang it, like I want to be able to do that now. You know what I mean? So something will come up, and then you'll be like, all right, it's going to be my next thing to focus on. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what keeps you coming back now? Well, obviously that's got over the course of time, what has kept you coming back to? I mean, now it's the competition, but like what was the thing that you were like, oh man, I think I love this. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. All those things that I used to make fun of the guys that would just talk about CrossFit all the time when I was younger. Damn it, now I'm one of those people. Like what was
Dude,
it? What was it?
okay. So on that note, like I do find myself talking about it a lot more, like around people, and I need to be more conscious of that. Like I've become a monster. Like I have to talk about something else. But dude, it was those workouts where I had never worked out to like total muscle failure or total like just collapse. I had never done that before. And I didn't realize I was going to like it as much as I do. Like where you're like when you're done with a workout, you just fall on the ground. You physically can't do or I physically can't do another rep. I think there was an open a couple years ago where there were like wall walks or something. And I'm like, I have to stop. I'm like, I physically can't do anymore, or I'm going to fall on my head. And I had never gotten to that. Like, I'd never pushed myself that hard doing anything. And it's really addicting. Like, and that goes back to my addictive personality. Like, I found it speaks to some part of my brain. Like, dude, I got hooked on it. Like, where I show up and I can push as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And I can't think about anything else.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm an afternoon guy. Like, I work out right after work. Like, that's always been my thing.
Yeah.
Excluding Saturdays, or if I'm like off work, I'll go in earlier during the day, but it's always right after work. And so it's such a mental release.
Yeah. Oh.
And
especially at the end of the day, you had a long day of work.
Oh,
right.
I'm pissed off. Like, I'm fired up, and like, I just want to not think about things, or I want to, like, blow off some steam. It's perfect. And then the biggest thing, I think, is the community of people. Like, that's probably the main thing that's kept me coming back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is I'm consistently seeing the same people multiple times a day who we've now become friends, and we have a rapport where we can push each other, we can mess with each other, we can mess with the coaches. Like, it's fun. Like, it's a fun environment. I did not expect that. Like, that was probably one of the biggest surprises in my 15, 17 years of my fitness journey. Like, I never thought I'd find something that's like this much fun. And it's miserable, and it's fun, and it's miserable at the same time. But I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, that was very surprising. And I think that's what I start to feel guilty when I skip days. Like, if I didn't think that was going to happen either. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, but I didn't go to the gym today because I had to work. Like, I'm like, man, I don't know. There's something that's like, why didn't you go? Like, you missed an opportunity. It's like I missed an opportunity to, like, push myself a little bit further. And it's wild. I never expected. I was like, is this what normal people who or like actual athletes, is this what they experience? Like, to an extent, did you have that, like, playing baseball? Like, if you missed things, or if, like, you had to sit a game out or something, like, do you feel like you were letting everybody down, or, like, letting yourself down? Like, did you have experiences like that?
Oh yeah, I definitely had that. There was so there's one specifically that comes to mind, and I'll keep this very quick. But I remember I got put into a game. This is my senior year, and I was dealing with some pretty bad elbow pain, which for a pitcher is not great to deal with. I had already had elbow surgery a couple years before, and all that pain and everything came back, a couple years later. And so I got put into a game, and it was a big game against a big name, a big scale opponent. We were a mid-major team, right? And they were putting me in to close the game out to try to beat this team. And I remember coming into the game, and I had such bad elbow pain, I couldn't feel my fingers. Like, it was just radiating all the way down into my hands. And I got on the mound, and I was like, dude, I don't know what. And I remember I blew the lead. Right, wasn't good. Get taken out of the game. The coach is like, not frustrated with me, right? And our trainer thankfully, like, noticed that, like, something looked wrong, right? And so she came up, she was like, hey, like, is everything okay? I'm like, I can't feel my hand right now, like, everything inside of my body hurts. And I remember that was one of those moments where I was like, even while trying to stay in the game and do, like, I felt like I let everybody down. In a weird way, in this kind of opposite way, by staying in the game and doing what people think that's what athletes do, is like push through the pain and do all that stuff, right? I tried, and I still had that feeling of letting everybody down. So yeah, that's just one of, like, a countless number of moments where you have that feeling because of whatever reason, right? And that's, to kind of bring it back around, come full circle, from a, like, local competitive CrossFit standpoint, right? Doing local competitions and stuff. I think doing the team side of it versus an individual competition is a way I mean, going to be biased towards it because I've never done an individual competition.
Yeah.
But I know like, that doesn't sound
Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, and a hard pass. But the team side of it, like you kind of get a little bit of that feeling of like, I want to make sure that I give my best effort for the people around me. And, that like that focus stays, obviously for the extent of that team competition, like you were saying, like you're doing your extra work, right? Trying to make sure that you're ready so that way you show up best for that group. But kind of similar to what we were talking about before, like that approach radiates out into the right. So like, you know, showing up your best each day, giving your best effort, doing the best you can with whatever task is in front of you at that given time. I mean, that impacts your work life, that impacts family, that impacts relationship with friends, right? It's like that lesson and understanding that. And there's obviously an extreme to it, just like there's an extreme with anything. If you're like full on shaming yourself because you missed one workout, it's like, hey, hold on. Like one workout's not really the, you know what I mean? There's a balance there.
Yeah.
But I think taking that lesson and taking that approach of like, all right, I have people that are counting on me. And it could be for anybody. It's a different person or it's a different group of people. But I have people counting on me. It's my responsibility to do what I can to show up best for them whenever I can. And so I think that like getting into a team competition from a local perspective, right? If you're not really trying to be like full on competitive in CrossFit, but you want to stretch that edge, do a team one because you start to get that feeling and you can take that out into your life outside of the just aspect of that CrossFit competition. And it's huge. It's a big time thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm extremely nervous for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Full circle. Yeah. So land the plane on that. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to hearing how you guys do. When is that competition?
Full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is that? When is that competition? Is that coming up?
It is what man? September 13th. So I've got like a month?
Like 4 weeks left. A month
left.
About a month. Heck yeah, I love it. Love it. I'm gonna have to check in with you and see how that goes. All right. I got one more question. Last one. Okay, so let's wave the wand where I'm going to give you the power to go back in time to a younger version of yourself, right?
Young Drew. Okay.
A young Drew. And I'm going to let you kind of picture which young version of yours. Young Drew had some chapters. There's some stuff that happened in the story, right? But I want you to think about the young version of Drew that maybe was in the roughest stretch from a physical fitness perspective. Just having the roughest time. Maybe it was one of those in between times where you kind of let some things go and ballooned up a little bit, right? So picture that that version of Drew in your head, and that Drew comes across this thing called CrossFit, but is like unsure because hey, I knew some people that did CrossFit and they were really annoying because it's all they talked about, right? Or whatever other things you knew of it at that time, right? And you get a couple minutes to talk to that young version of Drew that's going through a rough stretch, has heard of CrossFit but doesn't really think too highly of it, and you get a couple minutes to give him some advice on like why he should try this thing called CrossFit. What are you telling that young version of yourself?
Interesting. Dude, it's tricky. I've got two answers for you. I think there's probably the one, how do I say this? There's probably the one you want to hear. And I think there's the one that that probably worked. I would tell him to give it a shot. Like ignore, just go, give it a shot. Because then I'd have an extra 6 or 7 years or 6 or 7 years plus of time to do it. And especially, man, when you're early to mid 20s, if I would have gotten into this in my early to mid 20s, it would have, I don't even know where I'd be right now, on this journey. Yeah, give it a shot. But then there's the other part of me that not, waiting until now, was part of my, I don't think I would have been ready for it. I think it would have been overwhelming. I think it would have been I maybe would have tried it and walked away. I don't know. But I think everything that I've experienced, the ups and downs, the fluctuations in weight, kind of what I've, getting into running or doing this and this kind of were prepping me especially when it hit in life. Like, I felt like it's working so well because of my journey to get here, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like everything that had happened to you before was preparing you for ultimately getting it.
Yeah. I was in the right mind state, like, or I was in just the right sense to do it. Like, even the world around me, during the pandemic, like, it was all, there were a lot of factors that kind of led me to like, this works. I'm going to stick with this. For the longest time I've ever stuck with anything fitness wise. But the right answer is I would have told him, like, hey, do it immediately. Don't wait. Start now. Like, you're going to and just dive full head first into it. Don't do any of that crap where it's 3 days a week, where you're just telling yourself that like you're doing that so you don't get hurt and you burn out. Like, jump full into it, because like I'm like, now I'm seeing like different types of results now.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, where instead of just like, I want to lose weight and move better, now it's like, I kind of want to see an ab or two poke out. Like, but like, but it's not. It's a very different type of drive. But yeah, young chubby Drew, I would try to start him on his journey sooner. But I know him because I was him, and I don't know if he would have been ready for it. But I would tell him to give it a shot at least.
Yeah,
and go for it. And it's not as scary or as intimidating or as like crazy or culty as I thought back then.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh man. I love that perspective. Yes, give it a try, right? Because like, hey, you've
give it a shot. Come on. Yeah.
Man,
what's the worst thing you do? Tear your ACL? No. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen?
No, that's it. Like, no. But I love that perspective in that frame. Like, what you've been through prepared you to be able to do it now and reap the benefits of it. And
not just physically, but mentally. Like, mentally prepared me. Like, I was at a spot where it just worlds collided, and I'm like, this is what I need in my life.
Hell yeah. I love it, man. It's beautiful. It's a great way to end it. Put the cherry on top right there. Drew, anything else?
Marco, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for letting me yap on about my fitness journey with you. This was a pleasure.
Dude, I loved it. It was awesome. All right. I'm going to put a highlight reel together of the best with. You take your pick on which Creed song you want in the back.
Oh man. All right. I'll have to think on it. I'll have to think on that.
All right, man. Good deal. Drew, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing with a friend. To get notified of future episodes, please follow the show on your favorite podcast app so you can continue to hear these stories. For more behind-the-scenes content of everyday CrossFitters, follow on YouTube and Instagram at Silverback Media. Until next time, this has been the Silverback Media Podcast.